Hello, Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This is going to be your general reading for November 2022. This is a general reading and the messages may not resonate with everyone, in which case I suggest that you go back and look at your moon and rising sign respectively, okay? I usually suggest that you view all three. In order to gain any insight into your own, it's either a squirrel or somebody walking by. I don't know. Okay. So in order to gain any insight into your own personal situation requires a personal reading. I don't know if you've heard, but the website will be closing, but you can go to the About Box section of my channel. I have the reading packages and prices listed there. If you'd like to book, you can simply email me, and you can find the email as well in the About Box section, okay? Now, I have with me the Radiant White deck. I have with me the La Vida Sibila for clarification. I do have the Golden Nostradamus as an oracle card to wrap it up, but depending on whatever the story is going to be, I don't know why it's getting so dark all of a sudden. Oh, I do know why. My computer's not plugged in. Hold on. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Depending on what the story is will determine what oracle card I may use. I may use that one. I may use something else. So with that being said, let's go ahead and turn the camera around so we can get started with the reading. I don't know about anybody else, but I am quite flabbergasted by the speed in which 2022 has been moving. I mean, it's practically over. Today is the day of this Scorpio solar eclipse happening at 2 Scorpio, I believe it is. Let me take a look. No, sorry. Yes, 2 Scorpio. So if you don't have your charts, look at anything that falls at 2 degrees in your chart. If you have your charts, look at whatever falls at 2 degrees, because that's going to be pulled in. That planet or in that sign is going to be pulled in. So let's just get started with the reading. It will be 9 cards. Eclipses always hide things. I have a whole... The website is still up and running at the moment, but on the 31st of October, it will be going down. So I think what I'm going to do is take some of my documents and I might post them up over on the newsletter on Substack. And you can find that link if you haven't subscribed yet. You can find that link in the channel art, okay, to my newsletter. So here we go. 9 cards down. 10 of Swords. Oh, well. Ace of Wands. 2 things just came up with these 2 cards, okay. 3 of Cups. That's interesting. 4 of Wands. The Hierophant. The Hanged Man. Well, now. Last row. The Queen of Pentacles. And this can apply no matter if you are male or female, or if you take on the role, if you identify with the role or male of a male or female, okay? This is simply receptive energy, and we'll discuss that a bit more. The Lovers. Wow, it's interesting. And the 3 of Swords. Well, this looks to be all over the place. I have 2 repeater numbers, 2 3s here. I have a Swords, a wand, 2 swords, 2 wands, and 1 cup with 1, 2, 3 major arcanas and 1 court card. Okay. It is always significant when the numbers repeat themselves. We'll be discussing that in a second. What is the energy over the entire reading? It is the Fool card. Well, the Fool card speaks about new beginnings. It speaks about taking a journey. This can be a literal journey or a metaphorical journey. But it is the idea about stepping out into the new just on faith and faith alone. Okay? Not a religious faith, just a belief. It says that all possibilities are open to you. You simply have to step through the door once the door becomes open. Now, in the center, I have this Hierophant card. It is a 5. 5s represent a changing energy, okay? A time of ups and downs. Sometimes these changes and ups and downs are tense, they are terse, they can be painful, but nevertheless, it is a changing energy. The Hierophant card usually represents either someone who gives you some advice, okay, but they can be rather rigid and dogmatic in their advice. But it can also represent organizations. So this is the idea, an organization in which there's a hierarchical structure, hospitals, universities, whatnot. It is the idea as well of a marriage. Now, when I say marriage, I don't necessarily always mean an actual marriage. Although in this particular instance, I do feel that there is a romantic connotation to this, okay? A contractual issue, as it were. Past, present, future, interplay of the cards. It starts out with this idea of some of you feeling as though you've been stabbed in the back, or that you've been ambushed and betrayed. So remember when I said, when I laid these two cards, there were two things that came out with those two cards. That was the first one. And the second one is that, and with the that you've been stabbed in the back, betrayed, someone has ambushed you with something, at least it feels that way. And this card backs it up to say yes. Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing is that this tells you it's a 10. And it tells you that the crisis point has been reached. Okay, it is the darkest before the dawn. And so therefore, will that be changing? Will that energy be changing? Again, yes, it will. It will also be something that you can celebrate, perhaps with a friend or some female friends. For some of you, this could be the idea that you did travel over water, by water, around water, near water. Perhaps some of you tried to move there. I think what I find interesting of these two cards together, this is the shacking up card, what I call the shacking up card. Okay. It does not necessarily, it just means that a relationship can have a deeper commitment. This card says that there's possibly a marriage, but perhaps this is on hold. Okay. What I find to be at cross purposes with that are these two cards. Okay. So let me move on. The Four of Wands talks about 4 is a stable energy. And it says that right now, all things being equal, everything is okay. Okay. But there's a hold. There's some kind of hold here. Typically, the Hangman will come in when it seems as though events have been suspended. Things are not moving. And so that time is best utilized to look over where you've been, to reassess where you are now, and then perhaps think about maybe changing a few things when it's time to move. Okay? I dare say some of you don't do this. It's right here. This card is also about the idea of sacrificing. So in other words, maybe you want something really, really bad and you've been working towards it really, really hard, but it's just not happening for you. So the best thing to do is kind of give up on it. And I don't mean to give up hope on it. What I mean is to give up expounding any more energy in it, be it physical or mental, and kind of release it and let it go out into the universe. And typically when you do that, you will see a change in the circumstances. Now, this Queen of Pentacles, to me, does represent an earth sign person. Someone who generally is considered to be kind, practical, prudent, maybe good with money, cares for the environment, might work in finance. It could be a banker or an accountant, even a cashier, or someone who is rather thrifty with their money. Okay. But there's a choice coming up in the month of November. And this is what the Lovers is all about. Okay. Sometimes most people just will interpret the Lovers as a romantic card. That is one of the connotations, in which case it is a relationship in which there is a great affinity for each other. But I've also seen the card show up when it says that there is complete incompatibility between two people. And so, in other words, what it's about, if that's the case, is there's a choice you're going to have to make. And the card counsels that, be careful of the choice you make, because it will have not only far-reaching consequences, but once you make that particular choice, okay, you close the door on the other choice. So this is about being at a crossroads. All right. And we see here with the Three of Swords that it ends with some type of pain and disappointment, maybe bitterness and resentment. I've seen this card show up sometimes when it says that there's bad news that makes you feel this way, but these are thoughts. Thoughts, beliefs, perceptions, ideas, and communications. So this tells me that at least there's maybe 3 people involved in this situation, in which case 1 or 2 other people are at odds with you in your belief in what you think, or maybe even what is being communicated to you. And I feel that this is why things are on hold. Now the Hangman is a card of healing, because what it does is it gives you an opportunity to put things into perspective, to see things from a higher perspective. As you can see here, we're celebrating perhaps a new place to live, but then here is this disappointment here. Now, I can't look at this particular card because she represents a person. That card represents a person. So what does that leave me? It leaves me the 10, Ace, 3, 4, and the 3 of Swords as they relate to these 3 cards here. Okay. And there's something about this 3 of Cups that I can't quite put my finger on just yet. So what I'm going to do is grab my book. We're going to get some extra information from these pip cards. We will take them in the order in which they fell. So we will start with the 10 of Swords. I will give you some additional meanings, as well as if I see any correlation next to these cards or with any other card, I will let you know that. So let's start out with the 10 of Swords here. As I said, it suggests that a crisis or boiling point has not yet been reached, and there may still be some drama or issues to deal with before things come to a head. Once this takes place, the real root or cause of the problem will be revealed, and this will allow for resolution. Actually, that was the reverse, and I didn't mean to read that. It says, the 10 of Swords indicates the result of all forces, both positive and negative, and tells of an old cycle coming to a completion and a new cycle about to begin. It is a card of change. It is a card of changes in fortune, and within those changes it is asked that you show perhaps compassion to the less fortunate. It reflects a necessity for a clean break or finishing with a troublesome or tiresome issue, situation, or relationship. Sometimes such endings come through viewing the situation clearly and without illusion. The dawning of clear perception makes endings less painful than they may be otherwise. So remember, these are swords. So we're talking about perhaps illusion. which is something that sometimes the Hanged Man can bring in. It can, career-wise, the Ten of Swords may be implying that a job or social position may be in jeopardy. It may even suggest a separation or a severance of ties within a relationship. It may be telling of travel either over or by water, that I told you. It may be a warning of someone who wants to control another for their own gain. If this is the case, then that person is insecure within themselves and feel the need to possess or control another in an effort to appease the ego. It also may be a warning that you take the utmost caution when undertaking any new venture at this time, particularly if you will be dealing with people who you do not know well or at all. These feelings of distrust could lead, this can lead to feelings of distrust and suspicion. And these feelings within you may be warranted, so look closely at all avenues and from all angles and only proceed if you feel it is the right thing to do. It can sometimes imply a legal issue coming to the fore, or be depicting a trap or ambush-like situation and tells of unexpected negative occurrences. But it tells me nothing next to these cards. Ace of Wands. Now, all aces are powerful cards. And what they represent is energy becoming available to you. Okay? And just doesn't tell me anything next to these three cards. Again, it is an indication of new beginnings, as it is a number 1 card. The focus is being open to new opportunities to achieve your potential. It can indicate that a new venture or unexpected opportunity presents itself, which may create much clarity and excitement. You are asked to remain alert to positive offers in any form of communication. The Ace of Wands is a message to accept all offer invitations and to look out for a letter, email, or telephone call which heralds wonderful news. Accept any invitations offered, whether social or work related, because remember, opportunity can come from any source. And maybe this is you getting together with your friends to celebrate the end of this 10 of Swords here. I'm not exactly sure. 3 of Cups. Now, oh, something good. The 3 of Cups indicates positive emotions and promises fulfilled. It indicates that positive energies and influences are on the horizon, and there is reason to be optimistic. If you have experienced difficult relations with someone in the past, now will be a good time to clear the air and try to establish or re-establish an amiable relationship. Try to accept the strengths and positive qualities of others as well as your own. But remember, I told you threes. Threes can sometimes be an indication of suspended activity before future successes are realized. Okay? Here with the Hierophant, it tells of an up-and-coming gathering, meeting, or convention, which will reap positive rewards. It could be an unusual or unconventional gathering, or specialized meeting or conference. All involved will be appreciative of the results. It may indicate a universal type of gathering. Well, that may be so. But there's something, I don't know, here that I'm not quite certain about. 2 threes foretell of a small but pleasant surprise. That is one of the meanings of the 2 threes. The other meaning of the 2 threes is, hold on. One of you is craving more change and excitement. Well, and that can mean anything, really, right? The 4 of Wands. is a positive indication that relationships are going well or that any problems will soon pass. You will experience inner peace as well as harmony with others. It indicates a quiet time spent with friends and family in a favorable place or places, and that a very positive and happy time will be had by all. It implies celebrations, get-togethers, and positive outcomes. In regards to a relationship, the Four of Wands asks that you leave things behind you in the past and enjoy yourself and your life today. But it tells me nothing next to these cards. So finally, that leaves us the Three of Swords. I think there's something else here. And I'm going to look at this with the I think it has come to me. The Three of Swords indicates that it is time to let go of things that you know are no longer positively serving you in your life. For example, if a relationship is no longer positive and growing and is causing unhappiness, it must be allowed to die a natural death, regardless of the short-term pain. The Three of Swords, with its sense of vision and understanding, can make this pain easier to bear. The Three of Swords implies that something sad or painful must be allowed to work itself out. Appearing in a reading, it indicates that there is a focus on separation and loss, and implies that you may be experiencing difficulties in a relationship that could lead to separation. The cause of these difficulties is likely to be jealousy or interference by another party. It may be telling of a difficult and or painful issue which must be dealt with quickly, as some realities need to be faced and important changes made. In the short term, this may cause disharmony and feelings of loss, but long term you may find the new changes to be exactly what was required, much like a blessing in disguise. It may be foretelling of family arguments and disputes, and may even lead to separations. It is an indication a separation or severance of a close relationship. If you have been waiting on some important information or documents, it tells you that these are on the way. Now, it doesn't say anything about, well, with the Lovers. It is a strong indication that a close relationship is coming to an end. So remember when I said, at the beginning, what I think this is that some of you may be on a trip away from home, maybe visiting with relatives, some kind of conference or whatnot. But then when you get back, there may be a separation here. I'm going to take a look. And, quite personally, I feel that there may be a third party involved in this. I have 3 people here. 1, 2, 3. I have 3 people here, or 3 figures. 1, 2, 3. Then I have the 3 people here, and I have the 2 threes. So there's this underlying idea of 3 here. I'm going to pull on this 3 of Cups. Because this could be the idea, that you've been going out partying too much with your friends. Okay? And in that case, there's a bunch of, you're not in the right frame of mind to pick up on any signals that may be there. Stiletto. The Sacerdote, and the Precious Presence. The letterato is an indication sometimes of going to meet someone to discuss things. The person is smart. They are skilled. The Sacerdote usually always deals with the law. So he could be a lawyer. He could be a magistrate or a judge. And the Precious Presence. So what we are looking at is this idea of perhaps some kind of gifts being given, or not necessarily inheritances, but things being received, okay? The Lovers, the Stanza, the L'amante, and the Denari. Again, the stanza is a meeting room. It's a place. It is an alcove. It is indicates where two people. It indicates maybe a secret that someone knows about you, or two friends know secrets about each other. It is the idea of the type of relationship in which you can talk to someone, anyone, about very, very close things. It can sometimes indicate a meeting, a private meeting. Here with the L'amante, this is the idea of you being emotionally, all in your emotions about this. The Denari represents not just finances, but old books and documents. Okay? So there's a choice here. So maybe this isn't a third party involved. I don't know. Let's see what the Three of Swords has to say. So this very well could simply be a legal issue, a contractual issue that has been on hold, maybe having to do with some property. Okay? But this Three of Swords, L'amica, a friend. The Superbia, and the Dileranti. Well, okay. The L'amica is simply that. It is a friend. And this could be a sister, a colleague, somebody that you know. It can be typically this person, it can speak to being in their home. Usually this is a person who introduces you to other people, maybe try to help you get a leg up. Okay, so she's rather a neutral kind of figure. But then we have the Superbia here. And the Superbia is the idea of vanity. People who are really caught up in the way that they look and the things that they own and where they travel and what kind of clothes they wear and things like that. So it has a connection to luxury, okay, and spending lots of money. It is also somewhat of a protective card. It speaks to a divine protection, okay, and says that no matter how bad things are, you are always going to prosper. But yet we see the Dileranti. And the Dileranti is someone who can steer you in the wrong direction. It is someone who is so clouded by their own ego or judgment that they can't see the forest for the trees and they can't be reasoned with. Now, I would say that indeed there are three people here, but not three people in the manner in which I thought. The individual who represents the sacerdote, you, and this friend. Okay? And I feel that this is a choice or a crossroads about what are you going to do with this. It's on hold for the moment. Now, you may have somebody in your ear telling you, yeah, when you get it, you should do X, Y, or Z. But I would say to seek the counsel of someone who is learned and knows well. Okay? This is a new opportunity for you. It is a new beginning for you. It could be a whole new way of life for you as well. But what you don't want to be is foolish with it. Okay? That's how, people win the lotto and then you go back and 5 years later they're flat broke. They got nothing and nothing to show for it. So be cautious. Again, this idea of plurality, 3 people. See that? You know, and if you're not sure, take it upon yourself to find out as much as you can about what you should do. Okay? The information is out there. But I wouldn't be asking that friend of mine for any advice. That's interesting. All right, here's your Golden Nostradamus card. The Thorns, number 3. Again, that theme of 3. And the Thorns say, the only certainty in our earthly lives is that they go on as a war. This card may be the harbinger of bad news or mourning, or a simple difficulty that will cause pain. The wound will prick you like a thorn in your serenity or in your body. And this very well could be saying that there's something to do with these finances here, with this money, with this whatever it is. And I don't know if you've signed a contract already with this person, okay, or they owe you money, right? And you're expecting to get that money back. Well, it's not going to go the way that you think it is, okay? And so that is what I have for you, Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising, for November 2022. I do hope those messages help. Again, if this didn't resonate, please go back and look at your Moon and Rising sign. Until next time, be well, stay safe, and namaste. Bye.